Hello, back to my Hello Boss reviews. We'll be talking about every single episode, any Easter egg reference, connection to the rest of the show. Sometimes you'll see my Sona, which leads into Season 2, Episode 7, and mid-season finale, Mammon's magnificent musical mid-season special featuring Fizzarolli, uploaded October 29th, 2023. In it, Fizzarolli's competing to be the head clown of Mammon's brand again, but he has some stiff competition. And it turns out it might not all be peaches and roses behind the scene. Shenanigans ensue. Unlike Queen Bee and Ozzy's, whose thumbnail was their summoning circle, Mammon breaks with this tradition with just a photo of him and Fizzarolli. The episode begins at a concert, and there's a whole smorgasbord of different Hellborn, including teenage Blitz and Fizzarolli. And they're here to see Mammon, the Prince of Greed, making his first in-person debut, even though we have seen his face on Money since Lululand. Yes, that is his summoning circle. He's a giant Christmas tree clown thing, and he'll have a different design later for some reason. And he's based off of the four-armed evil Grimace. For those who are not oddly obsessed with mascots of fast food chains like I am, when Grimace was first introduced in the 70s, he used to have 4 arms and be evil and steal like milkshakes and Coke and stuff. But then by the 80s, Grimace became Ronald's best friend and he lost 2 of his arms. Maybe they had the evil energy inside of it. Also, Mammon is played by Pim from Smiling Friends. He's indeed Australian, and you still can't say the Australian word on YouTube. I don't know why he's Australian. The rest of Greed is kind of based off of, like, gangster Chicago. Crimson doesn't have an Australian accent. Either way, Mammon wants a new face of his clown brand. It's not really obvious, but this little kid that he picks up is meant to be Wally Wackford. Given that he's a kid when Viz and Blitz are teens, that implies that he's much younger than them.
Also, if you're a chick, maybe give up on your dreams now, because I'm not gonna lie, women just ain't funny. Anyway!
Did you catch that? This is the only episode so far that has intro credits, just so they can have the gag that Vivian Medrano, a woman, wrote this. Whoever wins the clowning competition gets to have their face on everything. The sun in the greed ring is a giant dollar symbol. Fizzarolli really wants to win this, but Blitzo is really against the idea of doing this. Despite wearing Mammon merch and going, Viz just wants to work with his idol. Also, we can tell that he has the same apple skull thing on his head that Blitz and Barbie have. Viz is not actually related to Blitz, so I'm guessing that this might just be a Pride Ring imp thing. Blitz also has braces, so I guess his dad likes him enough to afford those. It's cute seeing these two interact, but it gets ruined by a weird fan. But they manage to ditch him, and the fan turns into a hate-em. We don't actually see Fizzarolli win and become the face of Mammon's brand, so I wish they kind of put this part of the episode in a different episode so we can set up Blitz feeling jealous about Fizzarolli's fame in the past. As we cut to modern times, and Fizzarolli's a big brand. You can buy a plushie of him, a fireman Fizzarolli, therapist Fizzarolli, waiting in a line for you Viz, a Vizzy that can scan if you've seen a Spagonia, Fat Vizzy, Skinny Vizzy, Oops All Vizzy, Vizzy for the kids, Vizzy for the teens, Vizzy for the Twitter artist, and they're all anatomically correct, and dishwasher safe. Meanwhile, real Vivi is looking at a Jester Eye fang he got. I guess that's kind of like a bruise to him, because he didn't have it when he was younger, and we hilariously don't see it in this shot. As Ozzy's here and he's concerned about his boyfriend, and he's really tired of this Mammon bullshit, but Viz wants to continue to work with Mammon. He's gotta be perfect, but no one's perfect. Ozzy says maybe it's time to step out of the spotlight and stop being chased by creeps. But Viz says it's fine. But Ozzy really is not into other people staring at his boo, especially because he has to make sex toys of his boo. But Viz gets his bruise back and says it's fine. But Ozzy says Mammon's an asshole, stop it. He sucks, but Viz says whatever. Meanwhile, Blitz, he's pigging out watching some MLP content. Luna and the rest of the IMP are nowhere to be found. As Ozzy calls him to say, hey, can you please convince Viz to not do this? He says whatever, but they head there anyway, in the limo from last episode, as Ozzy dressed like Jack Skellington as a pimp. Blitz tries telling him to just give up on all this as Mammon teleports in. Mammon ironically says that Viz is looking a little chungo and he's gotta be skinny as fuck. Blitz hates this. He would never make fun of one of his employees.
I don't want to assume, but as always, I have an act without a doubt, gonna fucking lose.
Me, a simp? Yeah, I'm a simp. So what?
You gals gonna be competing as well? That's really nice.
You can shut up now, you fugly imp. Yeah, see, we didn't come to chat, and we came to win.
This is Glitz and Glam, played by pilot Katie Killjoy. I think they might be Envy Hellborn. And they're based on the old ladies from Coraline. It's a little more apparent in their OG concept designs, which I adore their actual designs, but I kind of wish they went with these ones.
Like we care what your opinion is, Brody.
Shut up! I was thinking of one!
Should have been faster.
Poor!
Slow-ass bitch.
They're so fucking pretty, oh my fuck. I just love their designs, their really cool color scheme. I get the joke is they're meant to be mirroring, but they're failing, but I love that unlike any other show, they're not just duplicates of each other. They are clearly similar, but I like that even down to their eye things, they're different. So Fizzarolli's got to compete with them, so Blitz says to pile drive those sluts. With pleasure. And because Mammon's Australian for reasons, they're performing in what looks like the Sydney Opera House, which leads to the song Juggling is Cool. It's okay, but it's less of a song and more of just Mammon describing in rhymes what's going on. Like juggling, which the twins on a tightrope on fire win. Yo! They're also competing against people of such talent like Kevin, Frank, and Pirate. Then a pie contest. Yo! We barely see them in their bunny suits for like a minute and they still design them. But Viz steps between them and gets pelted with pies, kind of looking like Flashdance. And he wins this one. He makes a giant balloon animal of Mammon, but the twins make a giant crown to put on the Mammon and win. So now it's down to Fizzarolli and the twins. This succubus went to the contest with their imp girlfriend, only wearing panties, $ pasties, and a Fizzarolli hat, and now they're blind. Mammon now thinks women can be funny, which is kind of ironic because we didn't see any of them performing any comedy. But whatever. Intermission where they get to meet their fans. Everyone's starting to love Glitz and Glam. And Viz is starting to not really feel this and wants to leave. But Mammon says that stop being a pussy and you gotta do this. You soy boy, stop feeling emotions, do your job. At least for the fans, like this giant hellhound. Jack in the Box Viv, Funko Pop Viv, Viv in a jar, Viv the cereal, Viv the body pillow. Blitz is upset because, you know, he would never treat his employees like that. Fizzarolli talks to his fans and he takes special notice of a deaf kid who does sign language, and apparently Viz can also do sign language, and it's needlessly wholesome, and I love it. Because apparently the sign language is completely accurate. Bono, a creepy fan, has evolved into an average hate-them member. And he hates Helluva Boss and seeing it everywhere, and he wishes he was that popular. All of Fizzarolli's anxiety builds up. But Blitz jumps in to save him. Blitz asks if he's okay sincerely, for Mammon to teleport and to ask if he's okay and to say to get his shit together. Blitz is actually concerned about Fizzarolli, but he says it's fine, whatever, it's gonna be fine. Just for the twins to say up yours, which leads into their song Clown Bitch. It's a song basically saying that Fizzarolli is old and busted and they're the new hotness. It's an incredibly addictive and catchy song with great lyrics, great music, great lighting. It's just sad we get the short version for the actual video. But they do play it over the end credits. Glitz flashes the audience and she's wearing $ pasties, much like the succubus earlier. Viz runs off and the show actually does perfectly capture the anxiety anyone would feel at this, having to compete with that. His makeup is running and his hands are shaking despite being mechanical. Ozzy comes in to try and comfort his boyfriend. Viz says he's not good enough, but Ozzy says he is good enough. Mammon's just forcing his image onto him, and he's got to stop that. But Viz says that without Mammon, he's nothing. He gives him life, security, Ozzy. And Fizzarolli is concerned that he's going to lose Ozzy if he loses this. But Ozzy says he won't leave Viz, and Viz says, "You wouldn't like me when I'm at my worst," as we see him without his hood for the first time. It's a really well done scene about how Viv feels worthless without Mammon, but Ozzy's here to comfort him and say he is more than just a clown for Mammon. You're way better than Mammon in every way. And he loves him. This leads into the song, Crooked. A love song about how Fizzarolli's all messed up, but that's okay. It's a really sweet song and almost feels like a precursor to Loser Baby. But oh no, to hate them arrives, so Blitz deals with them. Ah, it's a heart. This leads into Fizzarolli's song, 2 Minute Notice, which is basically, fuck this job. This is an incredible song and sequence in the episode, full of tons of life, energy, fun lyrics, comedy, and the song itself is incredible. It might also even be a precursor to Poison. During the sequence, Viv also starts ripping off his clothes because they're in Mammon's image. Oh, you can spell the Australian word, just don't say it. This cute imp is trans and also the OC Party Pratt. This one is Mike Boggs. The hellhound next to him with the mask is Crescent Rhodes, who we also saw in Queen Bee. This tiny one is Logo. This hellhound is Cyril. And this is Cal's Draws. Eventually, Mammon realizes what the song's about and goes full demon form, which is him just getting bigger, growing giant bug legs and a couple extra eyes. But Viz summons Star Platinum, Ozzy.
Holy shit! I
Mammon's like, oh yeah, right, fight me, I'm gonna expose ya.
That what? That I love him? Well, I do.
I knew it!
Guy telling his ex, ha, I fucking knew it. And this redder imp is looking for clown feet pics for research.
Oh! Shit. Ah!
Mammon says he's gonna regret that. But who cares? Happy ending.
So does that mean we win?
Happy ending. This is the best episode of the season so far. All the songs are so good, literally all of them have been uploaded separately. It's a really funny episode while also perfectly capturing toxic workplace environments. I don't know if Blitz really needed to be in this episode, especially because despite what Mammon does to Fizzarolli, this is kind of what he does with Moxie all the time and he doesn't even realize it. Glitz and Glam are fun villains and absolutely stylish. The episode's really good depicting the kind of anxiety any performer would have. Overall, I'll give this episode 15 out of 10. Make sure to hit the like button, share with your friends, comment your thoughts and opinions, and hit the subscribe button if you're new.